The solution is a modular set. And here are the blueprints for the stages. Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to our new studio space. The project has safely made it across the country, so that is good news. There have been some casualties, mostly the glue, on a number of things. So we will fix everything.
The show is about to start.
It's October. Abigail is here.
I'm here.
We have rented the Legion. And we are working on choreographing the motion for the reference footage that will be used in the rotoscoped sections of this film.
Yes.
Is there anything else we need to say about the
We're
process?
working hard. We're dancing a lot.
We have multiple unitards
Yes.
of various shades and colors.
1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, spot, spot, and reach, 2, 3, step, 2, 3, pause, and turn. Right? Yes, no, it'll work. What's gonna help you with the feet is to think this. Open together. You're literally doing this. Okay. Slide together. Yes. Because if you try and turn and keep your feet open, it gets really wobbly. Just think. Slide, open, close. So you're constantly doing, you're bobbing in an ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Ride the weight. Down. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We're not going to kill ourselves with turning out that front legs. This isn't a ballet.
Okay, so camera is rolling. You are in spotted toad mode. This is good. We just finished to the disc golfers that we sprinted by, making you feel potentially slow. Sorry about that. What do you want to say?
Firstly, we want to say thank you
Yes.
for your support in making this magical project come to life.
Yes. We had a good time.
I think more than a good time.
It was a great time.
We laughed as well.
We
We laughed a lot. Yeah.
And we didn't even get cranky once.
No.
No, that's what happens when you're working with wonderful people.
So, yeah.
Good humans.
Okay, hi everybody. I have an update on the character design. We are gonna give wooden heads a go for two reasons. Partly because I need a lightweight head for these bodies because we're using magnet anchoring, and because if it's anchored from the bottom, you don't want it top heavy because it makes it harder to anchor. And partly because a lot of this film is in that painted style with a lot of like loose brush strokes, and I think that because like when you carve something, you end up, the camera doesn't want to show it, there you go, you end up with all of these little planes that I think will lend themselves nicely to the visual continuity. I've also never carved a head before. So, but I did get a lot of practice with the table legs, like all the chair legs. I did a lot of kind of whittling type work then. So, okay, so I have not become a master carver in the last like 20 minutes. The knives I have are not very sharp, which is surprising given the nature of the Beavercraft Beginner Whittlers kit that I purchased. This could be worse. It could be worse as a starting point. It's not very good. I'm not saying it's very good, but it could be worse. So this one is better. It's less scary than the other one, which is a definite perk. Its nose is a little weird. It needs to stick out more. I cut that piece off by accident. And obviously the back of the head into the chin. But these knives are really, they're hard to cut with, and which is kind of dangerous. So I'm gonna pause that for now. Yeah. I don't know. I'm pausing for now with little flat face McCoy over here, and I'm gonna go do something else. So I am gonna move ahead with this because I like it. I like the way that it takes light. I like the way that the shadows are cast. I like the way that it looks very organic and somewhat unfinished. Well, this one will look more unfinished than the actual unfinished looking head will be, but I think that it's very expressive. I think that it's very lovely, and that is what I have to say about that. Okay, hi everybody, it's me. I'm coming to you live from my car in January. Here's the plan. So I was trying to decide how to go about this because I was feeling a little bit like, how are we gonna get everything done? Methodically and one step at a time. So I'm going to make a big ol' calendar, first of all, with a number of key dates on it. I'm going to make a list of all of the things that were unfinished from our previous working period. I'm going to make a list of things that need doing, room by room, and then we are going to work room by room in the set, and we are going to add all of the details, you know, all of the lovely things that bring a space alive. Starting with a kitchen backsplash, because that's where I'm at. But I think we still have to make a stove. There's still no stove in the kitchen. So maybe we'll start there. Maybe we'll start there. I think I'll try to do the stovetop in tinted resin and see if it looks like glass. I think that would be a cool thing to do. So sometimes if I'm feeling a little bit efficient, instead of using a paintbrush for something like so tiny as this, because it's a pain in the butt, I just take some paint and I put it in a jar with a little water, and I give it one of those, you know? I'm on my way to do something really exciting. We are going to, I saw a video in which this guy was making miniature hammered copper pots, and I wanted to make copper pots, which is why I bought some copper leafing, because I said, why don't we do some gilding? Why not? It's fun. But I wasn't sure how exactly to make these pots, and I was watching this other video of this lady who was making baskets. So we're also making baskets. I'm very impressionable. But he was using the little like the little casings for tea lights, because that metal is super malleable and also already rolled at the edge, and he was using like embossing tools to like puncture it. And you know what's funny is that my embossing tool here is actually about 20 years old. My parents gave me an embossing kit when I was quite young, and I loved it. And now here it is, getting used in a stop motion film. Who would have knew? But little Emily would have loved what's going on in the kitchen. She would be very pleased with the lady that I am right now. Oh, hi everybody. It's evening time, which is why I have my evening ponytail on. I wanted to show you, so I finished today, I'll stand back so you can see me. I finished today the dance scene, painting it. So the next step is to scan all of the frames. And I had initially thought maybe that I would photograph them, like I would build kind of like a pulpit stand with some guide bars and photograph them all, but then I thought, no, I don't actually want to do that. I don't want to run the shutter that many times. My camera is getting up there in years, and I didn't want to, you know, wear it out when I didn't need to. So I ran a scanner test at the school in Arcola to see if it would wash out the paint at all, because I know when you use pencil and some other inks, it just washes it out. It doesn't look nearly as like vibrant or like textured as it does in person. And so if that was going to be the case, then I would photograph it. But the scans worked fine. I think probably because acrylic paint is quite opaque, that the light doesn't penetrate it that way. Anyway, I'm just speculating. That's just speculation. So anyway, I got a scanner because I said to myself, surely in the good year 2025, a person can get an at-home scanner. And yes, you can. This thing was less than $200, and it can scan 4800 DPI. So like, I was having some resolution issues with my previous scan. See, if I zoom in, come on now. Oh, it's still got the cropping tool. Okay, just give me a second here. Zoom, 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 zoom. I'm sure you can see this from home, but it's like got visible pixels, which, what are we, peasants? I'm like, that's not the 4800 DPI I was promised. So I found out that the maximum I can do is 2400 DPI. However, it is taking 6 minutes per page. That's not happening. But I found out that the previous resolution was only 300, so I'm sure we can find a happy medium in which we can scan these relatively efficiently. I'm going to wait the 3 minutes to see how ultra crisp the 2400 is, and then we'll find somewhere in the middle. Well, just allow me to be the first one to say, wow. This is a video of a screen on a screen, and you can still see the brush strokes as compared to our 300 DPI variant. 300, 2400. 300, 2400. So the other reason that we're not doing this is because aside from taking 6 minutes to scan, that single page is 1.6 gigabytes. And I just don't have that much hard drive space. So, okay, good news, people. We have got it figured out. The preview file is still open just to ensure that none of these thumbnails get in there, because it was doing this auto cropping thing, and I said, back off, I'll do that. And you know, I didn't say this to you earlier, but it's true that being able to do this after hours at home in my jammies is worth the cost of the scanner itself. Because this is a long job. So previously, the couch was upholstered with this fabric, which I have been iffy on for quite some time. And then I found this pair of pants that I don't want to wear anymore. I'm going to reupholster this couch, and it's going to be beautiful. Okay, if I'm being so honest, it's actually really difficult. I did a really good job gluing the fabric onto here, and it's actually like ripping the wood apart a little bit, so I'm thinking it would be easier to just remeasure all of these pieces and cut new ones. I was right, it was much faster. Today I am making greenery for the house, so we have some various plants and whatnot in process. Right now I am crimping the edges of this. I have a little indoor tree that we're working on right now. I've really been enjoying, like, about all the plants, like I've really enjoyed making the plants, but mostly what I've enjoyed are the little things that make them different from each other. So like here's one where the edges have been crimped, and here's what it looked like beforehand. So it's a pretty subtle difference, but when you get all the leaves together, it's got that little bit of uniqueness that separates it from the rest, you know? It's pretty cool.
All in all, it's just another brick in the wall.
I didn't notice before, but every 4 frames the poses are consistent, and so he just hovers. That's not even a glitch. That's just how the timing of the video went out. Isn't that funny? I have the metal leaf, and so you had better believe that I'm putting it on everything. Yes, he's a chef. Hello everybody. I am at my mom and dad's house right now because yesterday I ran away. But today we are going to go back to the heads. So you remember this concept from our previous, I think it was back in January that I made this. Anyway, I really like where the eyes are, or where they aren't, where the forehead line is. Anyway, I like that. But from the profile, extremely flat, like shockingly flat. But I think that if I take a piece of doweling and affix it to the appropriate location on the face, then we'll be able to get, I'll probably use a longer one to give myself some flexibility on the forehead. I think we'll be able to get a slightly better profile. But yeah, anyway, it's a nice day. I'm gonna go sit on their front steps with my whittling knives like a 29-year-old female old man. Well, I have to go because there's a winter storm warning, which for those following along at home, it is April 23rd, I think. Anyway, I got one head done. I accidentally made the nose a little flat again. I said to myself, you should stop, and then I did one more cut, and now it's too flat. But it's pretty good. It's better than the other one. Okay, I am making bodies for our beautiful head here. I've had a concept for a while on how I want to build these, but then I haven't actually figured it out yet. So we are going back to the precision tubing joints at the neck, just at the neck, and then at the back too for the rig, because I've got different rigs, professional rigs, believe it or not. And it's always the chicken or egg. It doesn't really matter whether the neck is fitting into, do I put the smaller one on the neck? Do I put the smaller one on the chest plate so that the head is sitting on top? If this is the neck, the head is sitting on top, or if the neck is going in. I would never get away with doing that in the middle school. But anyway, we did that. I might cut that. We have the neck joint. We have the head with a receptacle. And we have the body padded also with a receptacle. So theoretically speaking, this should just be awesome and fit together without any problems whatsoever. Yes, good. Haha! I'm a genius. Okay, so this morning I had a moment because I was like, why am I figuring out the hands so last minute and in such a weird way? So I should watch some YouTube videos. And so I did watch some YouTube videos, and there was these beautiful, I think they were Swedish, maybe they were Dutch. Anyway, there was these beautiful women who were so good at making stop motion hands, and I had a whole moment because I was like, I don't know how to make two-part molds really well. I don't. It always ends in disaster. And so this time I just kind of unconsciously protected myself from that. I was like, we always end up doing this weeks-long wrestling match with a two-part mold that I don't know why I can't get it to work. And then in the end I end up doing something strange 2 days beforehand to make hands. And so I just kind of skipped ahead, and here we are 2 days beforehand doing something strange. So I'm going to make a one-part mold, which is something that I know that I can do. This is the plan. It is certainly going to work. There is nothing that could go wrong, and we will proceed with confidence and appreciation for beautiful Swedish women everywhere. This is honestly such a disaster. I'm already moving on to plan B. So, yeah. So, good news, everybody. I could have taken the middle finger out of here before recording. Anyway, too late now. This is actually less of a disaster than I thought, which is a really exciting development for the day. Obviously, this part broke. Hangten or whatever. But because the resin, it doesn't, like, it does a partial set, so you can see I can still bend it. But because I can still bend it, it's really easy to cut. So I've actually been able to cut the parts where the fingers have become totally encased, and I've been able to dig them out and kind of recover the mold. Like, all in all, I think I can actually use this, which I didn't think was going to be the case. So it's early in the morning. I came in because we need to get a new model going because this one can't play the guitar. I accidentally broke the arm at one point, and then I tried to cobble it back together at the elbows, but that can't play the guitar. And the clothes are easy to come off, but the feet, I'm just remembering now how exactly I put them on there, and they are not easy to take off. And so I still want them to have sturdy ankles, because that was the whole point of doing it this way, except that he can't play the guitar. So there's a couple things I could do. I could chop it off a little higher. I could split the wire, and I could try to splint it together with this wire, twist all 4 wires together, which might be okay. I could also get some magnets involved. I could get some small magnets, perhaps, at the top juncture here. Okay, well, the good news here is that the leg system works and is quite strong, actually. I'd have to flick it pretty hard for it to actually come off. I don't know if I could. There we go. So this is the armature that, well, it's not done yet, but this is our protagonist, in case you couldn't recognize him. And I have affixed on the back of it a piece of square precision tubing that will match up with the square. It's early in the morning, you know the thing. Anyway, they fit into each other just so. And then what this arm does is it just kind of articulates any which way, and will let you just move your armature however you want in space, and then just hold it there. And what do you know? You get something that's made for a very specific job, and only that job, and it's really good at it. So we're making a guitar, and I have here the back of it that I have carefully cut, but I want to get the sides of it, and I have this wood. It's thin. It's kind of flexible, but it's not flexible enough. Anyway, I saw on Instagram this girl who made a tutorial. She made drawer pulls out of popsicle sticks, like the big tongue depressor ones, and she poured boiling water on her wood, and then she had her form was made out of wood, but I am going to use a cardboard one because this is small, and also, I don't know, the saw is hard to use sometimes. This felt a little risky. So I have these things, and I have some clamps, and so I'm gonna cut this, and I'm gonna put boiling water on it, and then I'm gonna fit it in here, and I'm gonna pinch it with the clamp, and hopefully it will be supple enough not to break, and it'll be good. Quite frankly, I can't believe this is working. Not that I thought that it wouldn't work, mind you. It's just that when other people make things look easy on the internet, sometimes it's not easy for me. Okay, I'm gonna put the strings on the guitar. So I have like a bad hairpiece, all of the strings stuck to the whatever you call this piece of the guitar. And I'm gonna glue that down, and then I'm gonna wind it around each of these spokes. Well, the screen recorder usually looked different, so I'm not actually sure if it's recording audio right now, but anyway, I'm gonna tell you how to crop the frames. I'm gonna start by checking the alignment at the top of the page here, because if the alignment is off, the frames will be off. There'll be a little jitter in our animation. We don't want that, so we're going to use the rectangle tool. We just drag it across the top here, and you can see that we are doing pretty good. An adjustment of 1 degree might be a little bit better. So then what we're going to do next is we're going to check through the frames for dust that got on the panel. I'll zoom you in real far so that you can see it. So look, we've got hair on the frame. We don't want that. So we're going to use the clone stamp tool here. Take a selection of the frame that doesn't have dust on it and use it to paint over the section of the frame that does. I'm not going to get it all. There's going to be a certain amount of like imperfection and noise throughout, but you know, we're going to do our best just to clean it up a little bit, you know, wash its hair, freshen it up, do what you got to do. Okay, so once we've got that cleaned up, then what we're going to do is we're just going to zoom back in a little. We're going to hit C to crop. We're going to drag it from the top left corner to the bottom right corner. We're going to click back here. We're going to go Control E, and we are at, see, here's the problem. I didn't properly register in my mind what number we were at. Cancel, undo, go back. We're at 224. Okay, C from the top right to the bottom left. Great. Then we're going to go Control E, 224. Then we're going to go Control Z. We're coming back here, hit C again. We're done. Give yourself a round of applause. Next page. So we'll say hello and good day to all. Today is a very exciting day in the studio because we have with us cinematographer from Moose Jaw, Jeremy Ratzlaff. So Jeremy, for the... What are we doing?
Well, we're trying to emulate a sky. So you can have lights coming through direct, and that might feel like the sun. But I think if we have this big, soft surface that bounces light, and we bounce lights up into it, that would probably feel a little bit like the kind of ambient light we'd get from the sky. That's the hope.
Nice. So we made this thing.
Control grid. That's what you want to see on the wall. Just kind of like a bit of a gradation. Looks really nice. The other touch, and this is what I think we might want to do with this one. So we'll have the same grid on this one. But then you can have like strips. And maybe it means you have to buy a little bit more of this, or the really thick stuff. But like that you could Velcro on if you want to like knock out a couple rows of cells and then just have your strip in the middle.
Cool.
Yeah, so you could like end up having these puzzle pieces that you Velcro on.
Neat. We just finished taking the test shots for early morning light, for afternoon light, and for the evening time light, which we're in right now. Doesn't he look good? And the house is very even. This guy. It's your Uncle Greg. Uncle Greg. I actually have one of those now. I shouldn't say that. I gotta bleep that out. I married into an Uncle Greg. Was it the 5th or 4th? I should have checked that before I started this video.
4th.
It's May 4th. And this is Bethany's first day with us. This is production assistant Bethany, who I have been trying to befriend for quite some time, and then just we never quite got it sorted. And then I was like, let's work together, and then we'll certifiably become friends. We'll be here every day. Just kidding. Monday to Thursday, 1 to 3 are Bethany's hours. And I made one additional vine yesterday and then hit vine fatigue. And then I remembered she was coming and I was like, yes, I'm going to make Bethany make the vines. We've put him in jail. He's because I couldn't figure out how to block out the shadow on the other side of his sweater, and then I remembered what Jeremy told me. You can just use black paper and get it real close to him. And in my mind, I thought that's not really conducive to animation. And then I thought, who needs to animate? I lied. I am animating. See, watch this. See? How's it look?
How's that?
My gosh, it's incredible. Hi everybody. It is June 10th and I actually thought about not making a statement like this in the behind the scenes video. I was like, ooh, maybe not, because it would be very easy for me to just show you all of those pictures and the one video of me painting one page and then just like be like, oh, and then I did 1,000 pages. But that is like a little bit too perfect of a scenario, and I don't want to be perfect and inaccessible. I want to be honest, and so the truth of the matter is that I don't want to do this anymore. I haven't wanted to do it for a while now, and you just kind of hit a point where it's like you're so bogged down in the task that it's like you don't even remember necessarily why you started. Like in an abstract sense, you do know why you started and you know that it's like a worthwhile reason to finish, but like that knowledge is no longer, like it doesn't feel noble anymore. Like it used to be this like driving force, and now it's like, I don't know. I'm here out of habit now. I'm here out of habit and because I don't like giving up. What even is there to say? I don't know. You gotta just keep showing up. That's the thing. You gotta just keep showing up. You get real bogged down, but you know deep down that the reason that you started was worth it, and you know that deep down you do want to finish it, and you know that deep down you really want to respect the person that you were at the beginning of the project, and you know that deep down like this is a worthwhile labor. And so you're like, okay, you know what, here's the thing. If this was my life forever, if this was all that there ever was, that every morning I wake up and I spend like the first 5 hours of my day dealing with frames, I'm like, that's a good life. There's nothing wrong with that. So just keep at it, you know? So I don't know, just keep at it. This is the motivational word of the day, is just I don't know what that looks like for you, but just we're painting the walls white. It's the first paint roller. Da, 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 da. Wow, she's starting real high up. Hi everyone, today is the day I can no longer continue putting off revisiting the bust process. I can put it off for about half an hour longer because I need to finish organizing this table, but then I need to just get at it. And I'm a little nervous because I did all of this like 2 years ago now, and I'm like, I've kind of, well, for those of you who remember from the first behind the scenes feature, it wasn't necessarily like easy.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again.
No, it wasn't necessarily easy. So I'm a little nervous, but also I'm trusting in the embodied knowledge that I got the first time. This actually went rancid. Like, it's moldy. I busted open the head and I was like, oof, something stinks. And I think that the wood, maybe the wood, because of all the water from the plaster, and then the lack of air from being in here. Anyway, this whole thing was just rotted. Starting fresh is good. And I know what a head looks like, so I can rebuild this. So this is going really well, except for the fact that when I let go, the face starts falling and the clay is taking forever to cool down. And I've tried to wedge it and it doesn't hold. And so I'm like, do I just put on an audiobook? Do I just hold it and accept that this is my life now? I don't know. Well, I didn't really record very much of the sculpting process because my phone is running low on storage and so is my brain. But I'm gonna commit to this. Well, I didn't record it because I was on a phone call, but the first layer is painted on. I didn't record me putting on this layer because my brother came to visit. This time I was on the phone with Chandra. So you didn't get to see any of these layers go on today. So relieved. Let me show you her. She's beautiful. Jury, do you find the accused guilty? We do. You guys are never gonna believe who's back. It's Abigail.
Hello.
We are... I'm chewing oatmeal. This was a rude time to start a video. We are doing the final cleanup on the bust shot.
But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more.
As you all know, still images do not have audio, and so in order to offer you a robust auditory experience in this film, we are here today with our two Foley assistants, Indra and Lily. We have our microphone set up, and we are currently organizing our sound list. Now.
Dirt ASMR.
This is Dirt ASMR with Lily and Indra.
This is Dirt ASMR.
Oh yeah, you're right. This is Dirt ASMR with Indra and Lily. Maybe try pouring it from higher up. It's so full though. There we go. Scared the crap out of me.
Here's the score. Hey, welcome. Welcome to my studio. Come on in. So I'm just tracking some Nyckelharpa, and here's the setup. So I got my chair. Very, very good to have a chair. A couple different mics, and so in the score, the Nyckelharpa, it kind of has two functions. Obviously, it's played with a bow, so it's, you know, kind of like a violin. But it also, because of the nature of the instrument, is so mechanical. So for the employment space, we're actually using, you know, the ticking of the Nyckelharpa. So I've set up a mic, this kind of a close mic on the ticking, and then a one that's overhead just for the bowing. So this is the program. I'm using Logic, and this is, I composed it using MIDI for the Nyckelharpa just to kind of get it into the program, and now I'm replacing it. How I have this set up is kind of very iPad kid, but I have the film here so I can see what's going on. I have my meters in terms of volume, so you can see how it reacts to the sound. This is the MIDI, so each one of these represents a specific note and volume of the note, and then this is the sheet music. In some cases, like this cue that I'm about to play, rhythmically it doesn't make any sense because it's very rubato. So I wouldn't really be following the sheet music, I'd be following the MIDI and kind of the shape of where it's going. But yeah, so let's try out and see how it goes. Give myself a little bit more room to prepare. I gotta rehearse it. But anyways, there we go. That's kind of the process, so it's gonna be good.